Hey guys, welcome back to my channel called How To. Today we'll see how to configure IKEv2 between the Palo Alto and the Cisco router. So I'll be leveraging my IKEv2 for doing this lab, and it's just a simple topology just to demonstrate how to achieve the configuration between the uh, Palo Alto firewall and the traditional Cisco uh, iOS device. Okay, so I'll be using my 176.16.16.0/30 as an WAN IP between the ISP and the Lux router, and 202.111.1.0/32 it will be acting as an WAN IP between the Palo and the ISP, and for the tunnel IP we'll be leveraging 192.168.20.0/24. Okay, and this is my management IP just to reach out my Palo Alto internally. So let's do the setup real quick. I'll be jumping into my Lux router and do this setup real quick. So hostname is already configured. So IP interface brief. I will be using my 176.16.16.2. .2 will be my Lux router WAN IP, and for the tunnel I'll be leveraging 192.168.20.1. So running config for interface gig 0/0. So only the IP address have been configured. So running config for interface tunnel 1, only the IP address for the tunnel 1 is configured. And for WAN to WAN reachability, I'll be doing uh, static route rather than default route. Uh, so IP route for reaching out to 2.1.1.1.1.0, and mask I'll be pointing this to 176.16.16.1, which will be my next hop router of the ISP. So this is done. So static route have been. Mhm. Okay. I think static route was already there, but I mistyped something. Okay, I think I did good, but the initial config have the miss route, so I'm gonna take that out. It should be 111. So no IP route 202.111.155.255.0 176.16.16.1. So this is the wrong route that was present. I'm just gonna take it out. I'm sorry. Do so IP route, and we have one static route for reaching out to this one IP, sending out to the next hop IP. Okay, cool. Looks good. So I'm just gonna write this config. Um, so what I'll be doing is okay. So we have two things. Either I am gonna achieve the WAN to WAN connectivity first, and do uh, the IKEv2 setup. Okay, I'll do it in that way. Uh, so WAN IP is configured here in the ISP router. I think I have already done the configuration part, so there is nothing much to configure. I have just given the uh, install the IPs, public IPs for the interface, respective interface. So ISP router would be having .1 at the end as an WAN IP, and nothing much. No any routing protocol are being used. So IP protocol summary. So nothing, no any dynamic routing is being used, and no any static route or is being configured in this ISP router. Since these are directly connected routes, and ISP is aware, okay, like my WAN IPs are directly connected, and I do have routes for reaching out to them. Sorry. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just jump into Palo Alto real quick. I just need the WAN IP. It should be so system info. So my IP address would be so system info match IP. IP. Okay. So my IP address for this Palo is 192.168.62.141. That is coming from my DSCP. 192.168.62.141. 62.141. Okay. So I'm into my Palo, and what I'll be doing is I'll set up the zone first real quick. I'll be creating one inside zone, which will be of layer 3. Click on OK. Create one zone that will be outside. It should be layer 3. We'll be using this zone into the interface. So Ethernet 1/1 should be the WAN interface IP. WAN interface. So I'll be using this as in WAN ISP. It should be layer 3, and for virtual router I'll just use default for now. Security zone, it should be the outside zone since it's an internet facing interface, right? And let's configure the IP address as well. 202.1.1.1.1 dot. I'll be using 2 at my end slash 202.1.1.1.1.2, 202.1.1.1.1.2. So dot 2 would be my Palo Alto WAN interface IP, and dot 1 would be my ISP next hop. Okay, looks good. What I'll be doing is I just want to create one management profile as well, just to make sure, like, I'll be using some pings going further. So what I can do is just go to management profile and create one ping, allow, and network services as ping, because I'll be using my just to test the reachability. I'm gonna use my management profile for allowing ping. Uh, so just click on OK. Looks good. Now, so interface IP have been configured, management profile have been configured. What next? Uh, let's configure the default route or static route, and click on add uh, lux router. mm, to lux router. So my public IP of the WAN interface would be 176.16.16.0, because from here I want to go there. So I don't want to use any default route, all zeros, because uh, I don't want to, like, advertise, or I don't want to send my tunnel IPs from the WAN. So for this sake, I'm just using the static route. So 176.16.16.0 um, for reaching out to this IP slash 30, I'll be using my WAN interface IP, WAN interface, and the IP address would be, the next up IP address would be 2 202.1.1.1. Okay, 202.1.1.1.1, and click on OK. So one static route have been there. So for reaching out to this public IP 176.16.16.0, 176.16.16.0/30, I'll be sending it towards my next hop IP. That is my ISP. Okay, pretty simple. Click on OK. This looks good. So what I'm doing is I'll just I think, okay. Um, do I need to create security policy. Okay, I'll just do one security policy as well, just to make sure we do have going further, like for one-to-one reachability. um, I'll be creating one security policy as well, but also I need to have one tunnel IP, right, the logical IP. uh, so what I mean to say is we will be using a tunnel, right? We're gonna create the tunnel between the Palo Alto and the Lux router. So I'll be using one. So a tunnel will be created, a logical tunnel between the Luxembourg router and the Palo Alto. So I'll be using 192.168 as something uh, 20.2 over here, right? So it will be a part of tunnel, any tunnel ID. For example, tunnel one. Similarly, I'll be using one tunnel over here as well, tunnel one, and assign some IP, and we're gonna bring up this tunnel. Okay, and we're gonna see the reachability. So that's how it would be. But what I'll be doing is real quick. I'll just configure one tunnel interface as well into this Palo. Go to interface and go to tunnel. It's already there, but just for demo, I'm gonna show it out how to do it. I'll just click on add and give the tunnel IP and the tunnel. So tunnel, the tunnel number 1, 2, or 5. I mean, any number that you want. So it's gonna be like my Lux tunnel, and it will be a part of my default router and virtual router. And the security zone I'll be using is, it's gonna be inside, right? So give the IP address. I'm gonna use 192.168.20.2/24. So that's the IP my tunnel will be having, and click on OK. Cool. So tunnel IP have been created. So I'm just gonna create one policy as well. Click on add. I don't have any policies. It's a default policy that we have in the box. So click on add. It's like Lux WAN. Mm, Lux WAN. Like, I'll just give a name. Give a name that seems good for you. I'm just giving a Lux WAN. So the source would be, I'm just gonna pick my outside to. Also, I'm gonna pick my inside region being uh, I just want the reachability between the public to public, right? Between WAN to WAN reachability, and between inside uh, and from inside to WAN as well, meaning by from inside to WAN. So there will be two uh, zones that I'm gonna bind into a single policy. So outside, inside, destination would be same. Anything coming from outside and anything uh, coming to inside. I'm just gonna click on OK. Lux WAN source this, destination this, application is any service, and I mean we are not leveraging any we're not doing any, like we're not allowing any specific services. But if you want, you can even use, like HTTP, HTTPS, or any IKEv2, whatever it is. But just for sake, I just want to have the reachability first, and we can fine tune the policy going further. But yes, so it's look good, and action is allow. Cool. So this is the policy that have been created. I'll just do a commit real quick. So meanwhile the commit will happen, what I'll do is I'll just go to the real configuration on the box. I'll just go to the Lux router and do the configuration part real quick for the IKEv2. Okay, so it was just for our initial setup was just to make sure we do have the WAN-to-WAN reachability. Once this config will be pushed, we'll see from Lux to Palo, and the public IP should be reachable. Um, okay, the commit is almost done. What I'll be doing is from the router, I'm gonna ping the Palo Alto WAN IP, which is 202.111.111.2. So the success is there, right? I'm able to reach the Palo Alto WAN IP. Similarly, from Palo Alto, you can do the same. You can insert the ping. If you want the CLI, I can show real quick. What's the IP? 192.168 dot 62.141. Admin. So what you can do is you can initiate the ping from the Palo. So if we'll do ping host directly to 176.16.16.2, that is this one, right? It won't be successful. Reason being, my management IP is different. So by default, whenever you initiate the ping from the Palo, it's gonna pick the management IP as a source. So it won't be successful, I guess. Which is yes, it is not. So you need to define the particular the source as well. So ping from source. My source would be 202.111.111.2 and to host 176.16.16.2. So we do have the disability, the ping is successful. Okay, so which is good, right? So I'll just control C and come back. So we do have the public IP reachability. That's the mandate one. So that looks good. Now let's configure the IKEv2 on the Cisco router, and then we can jump into Palo and do the config. Okay. I'll go to Lux router real quick and do the configuration part. So configuration is divided into multiple steps. So just make sure uh, to do the lab or write it down and practice. Okay. So I'll in the IKEv2, what we can do is the step first would be creating the IKEv2 proposal. Okay. So by default, there is a proposal exist in the Cisco router as well. If we'll do so IKEv2, so crypto IKEv2 proposal, we do have the sorry proposal. So we do have the default proposal that already exists in the Cisco router. But I'm gonna create my own for config the crypto IKEv2 proposal. IKEv2, give it a name, IKEv2 underscore PROPOSAL. I'll just give it a name, right? So it says you need to define some essays, secretary associations. So I'll be using my encryption as an AES 256, AES CBC 256, group as 20, integrity as 512, and what else? I can use PRF as well as 512. Okay. Since we have an option of PRF in the Cisco router, just make a note of it. But you won't be seeing any PRF options in the Palo Alto end. Okay. So what I tend to do is whenever in the live production as well, like so trying to match this integrity and PRF as a single. I mean like as same. It will be easy for you. Else like you need to have just okay like assist like security assistant should be matched between the Cisco router and the Palo. So that's mandate, right, for bringing up the tunnel for the phases, phase 1 and phase 2. But I tend to use the integrity and PRF as the same algo. mm, uh, just for shake. Okay, so I think I'm good. So crypto IKEv2 proposal, the proposal is created. So I do have my IKEv2 proposal, right? Which is using encryption, integrity, PRF, and uh, Diffie-Hellman. So makes like integrity is achieved. So what does integrity means? Integrity is achieved using authentication. So you won't be seeing any integrity option in the Palo Alto. It will be named as authentication. Okay, just to let you know. So proposal is created. So the next thing is create the policy, config T. So there should be on default policy as well. So crypto IKv2 policy, but I'm gonna create one of my own, config T. Crypto IKv2 policy, uh, IKv2 underscore policy. I'll just give it a name, and I'm gonna call out my uh, proposal. Proposal is IKv2 underscore PROPOSAL. Okay, that's all. So we have created our IKv2 proposal as well, policy as well. Okay, so IKv2 policy is there, which is calling out our IKv2 proposal that we have created in step first. So second step is also clear. Now the third step would be creating a keyring. Okay, so crypto IKv2 keyring, and give it a name IKv2 underscore keyring. So I'll do peer. So peer can be it's just a name. You don't need to match any. Yeah, it can be anything. But it doesn't mandate like you need to give any IP address and so on. So I'll just give a name. For example, Palo Alto is my peer or anything. As if you need anything else, you can just give it a name. The peer is configured peer. So I'll just use preset key. Local would be Cisco. Preset key remote would be Cisco. So IKv2 so we have, okay, so there's a white space. I think I have just given the space, so I'll be using preset key as Cisco. So IKv2 gives you an flexible authentication, right? So that's what we have learned in theory. So this means you can define the preset key local for local as well and for remote as well. So that's an option to have. And what else? Okay, so give it an address. So address should be the public IP address of the peer end. It should be 202.168.1.1.2, and I think all good. So that's all we need to have. So what we have created the keyring as well, right? So run section keyring. So one keyring with the name IKv2 keyring is configured, which is calling out the so keyring is for my peer end. If you have multiple setup, for example, if you're leveraging DMVPN and you have multiple and you want to use one keyring for multiple spokes, then you can just give the address as all zeros and use the same authentication. But just for our lab, we're just doing a simple lab, right? So the keyring is configured, right? The address is this. The preset key have been configured as well. Now the third step is configured. The fourth step would be creating the IKv2 profile. Okay, crypto IKv2 profile. I'll just give IKv2 underscore profile, and see what this says. We must need to define the local and remote authentication method, match identity. So these are mandate that we need to have in IKv2 profile. So what I'll be doing is authentication local is preset key that we have defined in IKv2, right? So the preset key local. So authentication local. So I'll be using my local authentication method that was defined in my keyring. That's my preset key, and authentication remote would be also preset key. So in Palo we will be using the same keys, preset keys for authentication. Okay, so authentication remote preset key and match identity. So we need to match the remote identity, that's public IP at the remote peer 202.111.111.0 okay. Match identity IPv4. Okay, match remote and the IP address 202.111.1.2. Okay, something is off. Remote IPv4 or what? Remote address 202.111.1.2. Okay, so match identity remote address 202.111.1.2 should be the command. And what else? Mm, I can call my keyring as well. Keyring uh, local, the keyring that we have created, IKev2 underscore keyring. Okay, I think that's all we need to have. Yes. So, uh, so crypto IKev2 profile IKev2 underscore profile. So what we have done here, under IKev2 profile, we are matching the uh, identity, the remote address, right? And the local authentication and the remote authentication will be pressure key, and we are calling out our IKev2 keyring that we have configured above. Um, that's all, right? So what next? We have done the IKev2 crypto profile as well. Now we're gonna have, now phase one is almost done. Okay, so that's all for the phase one. Now for the phase two, we need to create the transform set in the Cisco router. So config t crypto IPsec, because for the phase two it should be IPsec, right? uh, for the phase one we are leveraging ISACAMP or IKev2. Okay, so crypto IPsec transform set t set, I'll just give it a name. And so phase 2 proposal should be ESP. I'll be using ESP GCM and 256. Okay, and ESP, so this for authentication, um, for integrity, or that's for encryption. For integrity and authentication, I'm gonna use ESP. Let's do one thing. I'm gonna use ESP AES 256 and ESP SHA 512 HMAC as in integrity. Okay, and I think I'm good. So these two would be using as an, so authentication header, we won't be using authentication header since Palo Alto does not support authentication header, right? So we use ESP for uh, encrypting the our payload. So hit enter and tunnel, and the mode would be tunnel. Okay, so we have created our, so crypto IPsec transform set. So transform set also, so by default there is one already transform set that was created. I mean it's already present in the Cisco router, but the transform set that we have created is T set, having encryption is 256 AES and integrity is SHA 512. Okay, and the tunnel mode will be negotiated. Now phase 2 a transform set is created. What else? We need to create one config t. Let's create the crypto IPsec profile now. I'll give it a name IPsec underscore profile, and call out our transform set transform set t set, and also we need to call out our IKev2 profile. Set IKev2 profile is IKev2 underscore profile. Okay, PROFILE. And what else? I think that's all we need to have into the our, so crypto IPsec profile, IPsec underscore PROFILE. If you're hearing the background noise, please ignore. IPsec profile have been created, and we are calling our transform set, and also we are calling our IKv2 profile. Okay, so the configuration for the tunnel, the configuration is done in the Cisco router end. So what we have done, to summarize, into the Cisco router, so the first thing we have done is created the proposal, right, and created the second step is created the policy, and called out that proposal that we have created, right. So PROPOSL. Third step is created the keyring, right. And the fourth step what we have done, created the IKv2 profile, wherein we have called out our keyring into the IKv2 profile, right. And the fourth step would be created the IPsec transform set, IPsec transform set. Fifth step is created the IPsec profile, right. So these are the steps that we have done into our Cisco router. Okay. Now next, so I'll be using my tunnel interface as I said. So I'll configure config t interface tunnel 1 IP address would be 192.168.20.5, for example, to 55.0, no shut, and crypto IPsec okay, IP address have been configured in the tunnel. What else we need to do? So that so the IPsec profile that we have created, we will be leveraging that IPsec profile into this tunnel. So tunnel protection would be IPsec, and the name of the profile, IPsec profile, that would be IPsec underscore profile, right. So this is done. Okay, so looks good. So running config for interface tunnel 1. I think interface tunnel 1 tunnel mode would be IPsec IPv4, and tunnel source is our public IP address of the router, that is gig 0/0. Tunnel destination would be 202.111.1.1.2, that is public IP of the WAN interface of the Palo Alto. Okay, so once you have done this, ISACAM will be on. Okay, so which is good. So now we can see the crypto map that is created by default in the Cisco router. So crypto map, right. So we have one crypto map that is created for tunnel 1. So in IKv2 we don't create any ACLs, right. It is created by default. We don't create any crypto map. It is created by default. But in IKv2 we tend to have, like, access list and crypto map, and binding that crypto map into the interface. That's not needed in the IKv2. So which is good, right. So crypto map is also created. Now I think our router configuration is done. So let's jump into Palo Alto and do the config real quick. I'll go to network and I'll go to crypto. So this is for phase 1. So I'll give the name Lux uh, Lux crypto. So Defi Hellman group, what we have created in the Lux router. So IKv2. So crypto IKv2 proposal. So we have created okay, I'll do this real quick like this, and here. So I have created AES CVC as an encryption. So AES CVC 256. So the ordering is different in the policy. We have AES CVC 256, and here encryption is AES 256 CVC, which is same, since these are two different vendors, right? So don't get confused. I'm like the orders are not matching, but it's a way like the Palo have defined the encryption algorithm. So so I'm like that's how you need to. So just don't get confused. So AES CVC 256, AES 256 CVC. Okay, encryption is matching, right? And Diffie-Hellman group that I'm using is here, group 20. So I'm gonna click on add and click group 20. Authentication. For the authentication, I'm using integrity, right? As I said, there is no integrity options here in the Apollo. So authentication. So integrity is achieved via authentication, or authentication gives you the integrity. That's how you need to memorize, or that's how I memorize. Okay. So authentication is 512. So 512. Also the PRF. So PRF is an algorithm for deriving the phase 2's keys into Diffie-Hellman and so on. So I'm gonna use it as same right now. So by default there is no PRF option in the Polo. It is so based on the algorithm that we have picked, it will choose uh, uh, the PRF. So that's why I said I'm like trying to match this integrity and PRF as same, because under authentication I'll be using 512 and it should match the both. Okay. So key lifetime, it's an optional attribute. I'm gonna just give it as lifetime as 8 hours and click on OK. Um, I think I just got the power back, which is good news. Okay, so phase 1 is created, right? So I'll just go to the phase 2 and create the phase 2 profile. So I Lux IPsec profile. Here in the phase 2, crypto IPsec transform set, right? So these are the phase 2 proposal. The phase 2 I'm using tset and encryption as ESP256 AES. So AES256 AES256 CVC. See, so here is CVC and here is AES in the Cisco router. So which is same? In the Polo. So AES256 is the encryption algorithm, and the CVC is for that's how they have defined the CVC. So just don't get confused. These two are same. ESP256 AES, AES256 CVC. Okay. So authentication, we are leveraging SA512 HMAC. Again, the HMAC option you won't be seeing in the authentication part in the Palo, but SA512 is something we'll be using. SHA-512 and SHA-512 HMAC. It's same. It's the same between the Cisco router and the Palo. So for DH group, I'm not leveraging any DH group for the phase 2 in the Cisco. So I'll be using no PRF, no PFS option, right? And the lifetime each one are by default. So I'll just keep it as it is. And the protocol IPsec, as I said, so ESP is used, and also we have an option for AH, but AH is not secure, so we can leverage ESP. So that's why we have ESP as in transport protocol. So click on OK. Now we have done the crypto and IPsec crypto. I'll configure the I gateway as well. I'll just click on add and give Lux gateway. Lux gateway, and we are leveraging IKEv2, so I'll go to IKEv2 mode only. The interface should be my public IP interface, that is WAN 2, and the local IP address is my public IP, and the remote IP is 176.16.16.2, right? Okay, so that should be the IP of my Lux router. So IP interface brief 176.16.16.2. Okay, looks good. So we have defined the pre-shared key, right? In the above, it was Cisco, so I'm just gonna give the pre-shared key Cisco. Local identification, peer identification. I think this is not mandate right now, but I think if my firewall would be behind NAT. Going further, if I'll do the lab, then I'm gonna show you the use case for the local and peer identification. But for now, I'm good. For the advanced option, if my route, I'm not using this. My router is not behind NAT, so no NAT traversal is needed. I'll be using my crypto profile that I have created is Cisco IKE, this Lux iCrypto. So my iCrypto profile and click on OK. Okay, so the gateway is configured. Now go to IPsec tunnel and let's configure the IPsec tunnel. I'll be giving Lux IPsec tunnel. Tunnel interface that we have created was one already, right? And the IKE gateway is Lux gateway. Proxy IDs, if you'll be using any phase 1, I mean IKEv1, then you need to create some ACLs. So ACLs are termed as proxy IDs in the Palo. So we are leveraging IKEv2, so I don't need any like no, I'm not using any proxy IDs for now. The tunnel should come up. I IPsec crypto profile, so I'll be using my phase 2. That's Lux IPsec profile here. Lux gateway and looks good. Click on OK. So I'll just do the uh, okay. So I'm gonna push the commit real quick. My tunnels are down right now. You can see, right? So I'll just click on commit and commit. So once I'll do the commit, I'll just come here onto my Lux router somewhere. Okay. Sorry. So crypto IPsec assay. So crypto IKEv2 assay. So we don't have any IKEv2 assay created. So for safer side, I'll just turn on some debug config t debug. I don't need this, but just to debug crypto. I'm sorry, it should be here. Debug crypto conditions for peer. 202.111 IPv4 202.111.1.1.2 debug crypto IPs IKEv2 errors debug crypto IKEv2 packets. Okay, so config is done. I should see the tunnel should be up. Oh, looks good. See, I should see some logs over here. I'm expecting to see. Okay, which is very good. I think on the first go we were able to create the IKEv2 tunnel between the Palo Alto and the failed to authenticate the IKE assay. Authentication is failed. Okay, we'll see. Okay, let's see. But I can see that tunnel is up. But okay, let's troubleshoot if something is off. Okay. Failed to IKE assay. So the phase 1 is failing. I don't know why, but I can see the tunnel is up here. Okay, I'll just click on monitor and go to system. IPsec deleted. Installed. Phase 2. Child assay is created. So it looks good. I'll just go to Cisco router and see what's going on. I can see the some failed authentication on the IKE assay, but okay, we'll verify. So crypto IKEv2 assay. IKEv2 assay is not created. So crypto IPsec assay. System. Okay, this is weird, but I could simply delete. Okay, I'll see what I have done mesh on my config. I'll just go to IKev2 and crypto. This is good. IP check I gateway. So I'll just see if I have typed the wrong preset key. It should be CISC0 Cisco CISCO Cisco. Okay, click on OK and hit commit. Mm, so crypto I go to SA. So phase one is not up, so something is off. I'll just see the keyring as well. So crypto IKev2. Let's do the no debug all. So run pipe section. Okay, something is off. Keyring. Oh, see this? Can you see this? For local authentication, it's Cisco, but for the remote authentication, it says CISO. I'm missing one C, so I think that's why we are not seeing any phase one SH in the Cisco router, right? So config T, crypto IKev2 keyring. I'll just go into this keyring profile. It's a good troubleshooting lab as well. We just found our fault. So that's what I do usually. Like before bringing up the tunnel, I like I just try and run some debug just to make sure if something fails, I'll see what's failing. So it says IKEs is failing. So I just went on both the end and trying to verify what's the preset key I have configured. So in Palo, I just made the change and pushed. So I'll just do the same into this Cisco router as well. So preset key keyring crypto IP2 keyring. Where is this? Preset key local is Cisco. Preset key remote is Cisco. It should work. So crypto IKE SA. So crypto IKev2 SA. See, now we can see our phase one is also up, right? We can see the associations, uh, what security associations that we are using with which IP, right? The UDP 500 is being used. If it was behind NAT, then UDP 4500 was something you could have seen. But yes, it looks good. So the phase one is up. So crypto IPsec assay. So the phase two is also up, right? So which looks good. In the monitor tab, just go to system. You won't be seeing any delete uh, logs for the associations. It should be good. So the one last check is I just want to make sure we do have the reachability between the tunnels. That's what we need to have. So what I mean to say is from this tunnel to this tunnel between the private IP address, the reachability should be there, right? So I'm just gonna go to this router Luxembourg and do the ping for this tunnel IP that is 132 from the Lux router. Okay, I'll just go here and do ping 192.168.20.2. It's not reachable. Okay, 20.2 is not reachable. One more troubleshooting. 20.2 is not reachable, so our phase 1 phase 2 is up, but it is not able to reach this one. Why? Okay, I'll just go to Palo and see if I have turned on any, if I'm not sure if I have missed to turn on any management profile into this tunnel IP tunnel 1. And if I'll go to advanced, see, I don't have any management profile associated with this tunnel, so I'll just allow ping on this tunnel profile, and I'll just do the commit. So I think this is the mesh we have done. I mean, I have done. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, these are like, few things that are really important while bringing up the tunnels. So it's a good thing. I mean, I did a miss, so that you will be aware. I mean, these are the things that that helps to troubleshoot, that helps to see, like, where we are standing, what we are missing, and so on. So what I'm expecting is, once this push is committed, we'll able to uh, ping from Lux router to the Palo Alto tunnel interface. So once that is done, uh, our lab is completed. It should be up. Region ping, our IPsec tunnel is up and running, right? So which is good. Um, so yeah. So one last test and our lab is completed. Mm, So couple of multiple steps are involved for phase two. IKEv2 phase two. So try to do the lab and grind as much as possible. So that's how, like, you'll be aware. Okay, like, mm, that's how you'll learn. So okay, so looks good. So the post is committed, right? I'll go to the router, Lux router, and do the ping. Say I am able to. I am able to reach out to the 20.2. And similarly from Palo Alto, it should be same. Mm, So this is my Palo, right? I'm gonna ping to the tunnel IP of the Cisco router, which was .5, I guess. Ping from source, as I said, just don't forget to pick the source, 192.168.20.2 to host 192.168.20.5. See, we do have the reachability. Uh, so if we'll do some Lux router debug IP ICMP, you would be seeing the ICMP packets coming from the source 192.168.20.5, that is from tunnel IP, right, to my 192.168.20.2. So it's a direct tunnel between the Palo and the Cisco router. So yes, I hope this lab was informative for you, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any doubts, do let me on the comment section below, and I'll see you until next time. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.